Musicians Institute Guitarcraft Program, sponsor of Fox 17 Rock and Review.
The Rock and Review is on the road at Carter Vintage Guitars, and we've got one of the greatest guitar players, in my opinion, in the world.
And thank you for putting that in my opinion.
Singer, songwriter, Grammy-nominated Joe Bonamassa.
Thank you very much for having me.
Great to have you on this.
I'm honored to be here. You know, I'm part of the problem here in Nashville. I've moved from California to Nashville, and I'm a Los Angelino part-time, and then I'm a permanent resident here. And it's been nice to come here and be part of the problem, not the solution.
Well,
to this
the nice thing
city.
is you fit right in, Joe, with your guitar collection, amp collection. You know,
I fit right in. I mean, people will ask who is that guy with black California plates terrorizing the local highway system, and that'd be me.
Right.
And I'm okay with that. And I think it's been an adjustment to come here. I've been working here for 20 years. And my girlfriend and I decided to move here last year. We bought a place, and it's a great community, where musicians are encouraged to flourish and do the thing, and that's not happening everywhere in the world. It used to be New York City, where I grew up in New York, but I lived in New York City for a long time, and there was a great musicians community there, but that was in a time when the rents weren't priced for investment bankers,
right?
Then the migration and gathering kind of moved to Los Angeles, and now that the real estate prices there are staggering minus, and then people have come to Nashville because there's really a wonderful community of great humble musicians that live here and truly can outplay just about anybody in the world, and it's nice to be part of that community.
Well, like we were talking earlier too, Joe, you pulled a lot of your recent band from Nashville players such as Reese.
Well, Reese Winans is a national treasure. So is Michael Rhodes on bass, and they're two national treasures. I mean, Michael is the most recorded bass player in this town's history, which is it's not really a music town, so it's not. I mean, the guy's played on everything. I mean, it's like
right.
it's like so. What have you played on? Well, it's short of the list of stuff he hadn't played on.
Yeah.
And Reese played with Stevie Ray Vaughan and did a bunch of sessions here, and both those guys have been in my band now going on 3.5, 4 years. With Anton Fig on drums, he still lives in New York, and a couple of Los Angelinos, Paulie Serra and Lee Thornburg, and we have a great vocalist section from Australia, Mahalia Barnes, Jade McRae, and Juanita Tippins. And
sound amazing.
That makes up the Monday through Sunday touring band, and how lucky am I to have such a wonderful group of musicians.
Well, and you're going to be playing here at the Ryman in Nashville, August 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Yes.
That's going to be pretty amazing, because you were just on the Grand Ole Opry in June of this year.
I was on the Grand Ole Opry, proving that I can overplay in any stage. I've played too loud, and I've played too many notes on all the greatest stages of the world, including the Grand Ole Opry. No, my friend Chase Bryant invited me to come sit in, and it was great. It was, I've never really done anything like that. I've never really waded into those waters, and it was such an honor, as it is an honor. I mean, to play the Ryman. The first time I played the Ryman was in 2011, and it was really a bucket list gig for me.
Right.
I'd played there previously. I opened up for Peter Frampton in 2001, but back then my name was different on the marquee. It was Peter Frampton, and my name was plus support, or in certain markets, and guest.
And guest.
The thing is, it's really come full circle. I mean, like, I remember playing here in town, and we would do gigs at Third and Lindsley before it became big.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if people remember what Third and Lindsley looked like 20 years ago.
Right.
It was small. It was it was almost like the Station Inn is now.
Right.
Or the Station Inn. It was 100 people, and we would do radio shows. Every Sunday night they would do a live radio broadcast. And it was like kind of like they gave away the beer to get people in, and then we'd play the Exit Inn or Mercy Lounge, and there'd be nobody there.
Right.
And finally, we played BB King's, and finally, eventually, it just kind of started to kind of click here in Nashville. And then in 2011, we played the Ryman for the first time, and this will be our fourth, fifth, and sixth time in the building, and it's an honor and a privilege every time you stand on that stage in any capacity. And it's the Ryman Auditorium, just like it is the Royal Albert Hall, just like it is Carnegie Hall, and a lot of these great stages I've been honored to play with.
Well, and you played the Royal Albert 2009, and that was on your bucket list.
I played the Albert Hall 4 times now.
Wow.
And the first time, albeit being, I call it my musical bar mitzvah, when Eric Clapton showed up.
Right.
And it was nice enough to come sit in on a tune, which changed my life. That stage meant something to me because of the legacy that he created on it. Mm-hmm. And to have him show up for that was just really special time and really a wonderful, moment for me. And, by the way, I was 31 years old and my manager said before we went on, he goes, listen, you have to think about this, Joe, because Eric Clapton's coming tonight. This is your first time at the Albert Hall, hopefully of many, but it could be the end. You're 31, you're 174 pounds, your hairline's still intact. This is the best that it gets in your life. Savor this moment. And as I sit here in 41, 10 years later,
right,
and 10 pounds heavier, and my hairline, let's just say questionable, he was right.
I think you're doing pretty well, though. And you've got a brand new album coming out in September, Redemption.
Yeah, Redemption is coming out in September, and we've been working on it for 2 years. We recorded most of it at Blackbird here in town.
Great
We're
studio.
working at RCA Studio B for a couple of albums, and a great producer named Dave Cobb took it over. And I understand, being a guitar collector, that you don't want people messing with your stuff.
Right.
So he didn't want people messing with his stuff, so he didn't rent it out. So we moved over to Blackbird, and ultimately we did some stuff at Ocean Way here in town. And being in Nashville, you're spoiled for choice with the great studios.
Oh, yeah.
and places to record. It's not like that everywhere.
No.
It's not like that. I mean, it used to be like that in Los Angeles, but then, think about it in terms of, you can go to Guitar Center right now down the street and buy the equivalent of what we used to record records on in the 90s for
right,
like $4,000.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe even less.
Mm-hmm.
If you got an iPhone and enough RAM on it, you could make a record.
Right.
And so we've been recording here for a while, and Redemption, most of it was recorded here, and some of it was recorded in Criteria in Miami. Just because if we don't finish, we have to finish wherever we are on the road.
Sure.
And just kind of set up anywhere.
Well, and I'll tell you what, listening to the album too, Joe, it's like, I'm struck by just the diversity of musical styles you're playing in it. Redemption, the single, is out now. And I think that sounds great. And I love the resonator work in there. But also, you're showing, on the full album, your acoustic, playing as well.
Well, we've done a couple of acoustic shows. We did one at Carnegie Hall, and we've done one at the Vienna Opera House back in 2012. And, normally, I know people are going to make fun of me or get online and, type their righteous indignation about it. Normally, for me, I'm an electric guitar player. So when I see 2 acoustic guitars, being from upstate New York, I see a good snowstorm and a way out of a car breaking down on the side of the highway. But I think I'm a more original acoustic player than I am an electric player, because I don't have really any discernible influences other than Stephen Stills on the acoustic guitar. As I get older and play louder, acoustic guitars seem mellower to me because my hearing's going. But to hang around with guys like Tommy Emmanuel and just hang around, we're at Carter's Vintage Guitars. I mean, like some of these guys here in town, like these flat pickers, I mean, it's just like what they do in the first 3 frets, I could never imagine, and it's like there's a timing and it's such a discipline that I don't have, because I always would just kind of stick my heels in the mud and go, Leo Fender and Muddy Waters invented electricity. Where's the cable?
Right, exactly. But what I think also, with the acoustic work and with the resonator work, you bring your own flavor to it also, Joe. And I like it. I think it's a nice platform for your vocals.
Well, thank you very much. It is one of those things, I play acoustic guitar when I think the music suits it, not, it's not something that I consciously write for. I kind of write for an electric blues album.
Right.
That's kind of what has made me infamous.
Yes, I would say
Notice
famous.
I would say there's two letters that separate infamous and famous. I'm not sure which one applies to me anymore.
Well, it's so amazing to me though, Joe, and it's so great having a musician of your caliber out there keeping the blues and keeping guitar music alive when some people are throwing aspersions on guitar music. But I mean, you started playing at 4, playing guitar, and you learned. One of your mentors was Danny Gatton at 11. At
11 years old, I was kind of like my mentor and guitar teacher, and just general supporter. B.B. King was a big supporter.
And then you started opening for B.B. when you were 12 years old.
Yeah, I've been this is my 30th year playing professionally, and I'm 41. I've been doing it for 30 years, professional, and somewhat professional. So loose term sometimes, especially in those lean years in the late 90s. But the thing about it is, people will always say something about guitar is fading and it's not popular music anymore. It's not. It hasn't been for a long, long time. But the idea is you can hand somebody a guitar and you can hand somebody a record and you go, listen, if you apply yourself to this, you could and think a little outside of the box and talk your friends into joining you. You can create a joyful noise, and you can create something that will define your creativity. And for a shy kid like me, it encouraged me to kind of break out of the shell that, like, if I was something else, I'd be very shy and introverted, But when you hand me a guitar and I suit up and go out there, it's a total personality change. It's a different character, and that's okay, And guitar can change the world, but ultimately, you have to look at that kind of music. We still play classical music. They still play classical music in the Philharmonic, at the Philharmonic, at the Symphony. All this stuff. There's always going to be a niche for the guitar and this kind of music. The thing is when you go, oh, guitar is dead, and then they do the clickbait, forward.
Right.
Is the guitar dead? ? Fill in your comments below. Well, at the end of the day, you're going to get some very well thought out comments, and you're going to get some people that just don't understand, like really what it means to be a musician and to create your own lane.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's not pop music.
No.
It hasn't been pop music. Machines make pop music, and now to be a pop artist, you need to be a brand. You need to have a makeup line. You have to have you have to sell plates and commemorative Converse, and you have to act, you have to dance, you have to be the total package. And for some reason, you have to have 28 million Instagram followers in which to market that, and people pay you to do it.
Right, exactly.
It's a completely different time. 2018 to compare to 2000, compared to 1990, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40. It is a paradigm shift. The good news is if you have enough people that are interested in what you're doing, you can direct market to your fans, and you can go, hey, listen, I like old guitars, so I post guitars on my Instagram page. Some people think it's showing off. It's not. It's just I like old guitars. I have a bunch. I'm an addict.
Well, and yesterday you posted the Mel Bay book, which I started out on guitar
Everybody
with also,
did. Everybody did. And the other thing is, what you do is you go, okay, this is where I live, this is my lane, and there are people out there that enjoy it and love it and are enthusiastic about it. Is it pop culture? No, it is not. Right. But there are enough people that are into this kind of thing, and with the internet, one of the few good things about the internet, because one is everything you read on the internet, and I'm looking straight at that camera, is true. There isn't a lie out there. Everything you read about everything is 100% vetted and 100% true. And the other good thing about the internet is the fact that you can go out and find people that are interested in a worldwide context.
And share it.
And you know what? Never get down if people don't agree with you. Never get down if people want to troll you and make fun of it, because ultimately it really boomerangs on them that they're very that they're very jealous or sad or people that are hurting that kind of take a little bit of joy in sharing that
right.
sharing their version of love with you.
You're right.
And you can't let it divert your path. You got to just keep going straight.
Well, I got to ask you too. Obviously you've had some great signature models that have come out with Gibson and Epiphone.
Yep.
And also Fender amps.
You got a
in
Fender
the past.
amp, yeah.
Anything else on the horizon?
Well, I'm the Krusty the Clown of the blues. Okay, we market everything. We have one of our best things that we've ever done, and I use it the whole picks, is our Flying V ashtray. I love it.
I haven't seen that.
I tried to get 3 more and we sold out. The Flying V ashtray, it's fantastic. Like, we do back scratchers that look like Gibson Explorers. I'm the Krusty I'm a commercial blues artist. Okay?
Well, and
register your complaints at www.whocares.com. At the end of the day, a lot of the signature stuff that we do, good news is, the Fender amp. When you go see my concerts, there's 4 of them on stage.
You're using them,
and they're not modified. Okay, the only thing we do to them is when they catch on fire, which we haven't had one catch on fire yet, but occasionally when you run them that hot for that long, they catch on fire, and we change a tube and we move on. And the thing is, Gibson's done a great run of guitars. We've sold over 10,000 guitars for Gibson between Epiphone, Custom, and USA.
Right.
We've sold out of the Fender amps, and we've done a lot of great things with Dunlop and Way Huge and Klotz cables.
Oh yeah, that fuzz pedal was amazing.
And the idea is it's not just sticking your face on something, and nobody gets rich off these kind of things. It's just you just do it because you love it. And the thing is, all the stuff that we kind of come up with, it's not just vanity signature stuff. It's actually stuff that I use. And
I think that means more.
And a lot of times, I don't really live in the box. Matter of fact, if I see the box, I run from the box, and I go, what can we do that's different? What can we kind of, if everybody's got a pedal board with 50 pedals on it, I want to plug straight in. If everybody's plugging straight in, I want a pedal board with 50 pedals. I don't. Assimilation to me is a place that's very uncomfortable.
Right.
And so, it's a challenge for me to ultimately think, because there's only so many chords on these things. There's only so many frets, and there's
so many notes in the pentatonic.
And it's all been done before. I pride myself in never having an original thought in my entire life. I've had a million good interpreted ones, but not an original thought. Because at the end of the day, you're dealing with, especially an electric guitar, 70 plus years of somebody better than you figuring it out. So what we do with the signature stuff is like, you want to get, these are the tools that we use to get this sound. If you like this sound, this is the tool. So you want the hammer, the screwdriver, and the Home Depot kit. Now, if like me, you were one of those guys on 4th of July who wanted a grill, but were too lazy to put it together, you can also go to Home Depot and buy a pre-assembled grill,
right,
and drag it out the front door and act like a big man in front of your girlfriend and go, look what I just built. Which you didn't. But you're living a lie. But when you're grilling the hot dogs and the hamburgers, nobody cares.
And they don't know the difference.
They don't know the difference.
Well, I'll tell you what, I can't wait to see the next signature model, and the Firebird that you did, the Epiphone version, was just incredible.
Yeah, that came out great. The Amos one that they just did, that's a special story and a special guitar, almost took on a life of its own. It actually took on a life of its own. And the next one we're going to do is a black 355, like a with a Bigsby, like I've been playing. It's kind of a cross between a B.B. King guitar and a Keith Richards guitar, with a little twist on it. And the little twist is I've decided to put my name in the fingerboard.
That's a nice little twist.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, wait till I put the neon sign on the guitar. That's when it really gets. That's when you know I've really gone off the deep end.
Just so incredible. Joe, it's so great talking with you, having you on the Rockin' Review. Be sure and catch Joe also at the Ryman August 9th, 10th, and 11th, and the new album Redemption coming out in September. The single's out now. Yeah. Great track.
Thank you very much. And basically, you know, the best way to hear the single is to go on like Spotify and hear it. Don't wait around. Don't wait up late at night on your local radio station. You will not hear it.
I heard it on my Pandora
You will
Joe
hear it on
Bonamassa channel.
Sirius Satellite Radio will play it.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, it's a great song, and the entire album.
Co-written by a guy named James House, who lives here in town, who's a wonderful writer, written a lot of songs you've heard, and myself and Kevin Shirley, my producer, and a guy named Dion.
The Dion?
The Dion. The
Wow.
Dion. Dominic, yeah. And
you got some big friends, Joe.
I got, well, you know, every once in a while I, you know, call upon, you know, a few of my friends, and they'll come help out. And Dion killed the chorus, man. He just came up the chorus. So.
What a great song. Joe Bonamassa, be sure and catch him in concert.
Thanks for having me.
Pick up the album and always go see him live. And don't forget, more Epiphone, guitar, and Fender stuff coming out, so watch for it.
Well, yeah, and if you don't want it, that's fine too.
Thanks for watching The Rockin' Review.
Musicians Institute Guitarcraft Program, sponsor of Fox 17 Rock and Review.